When it comes to renting or buying a home, many people look for the biggest, nicest home that they could afford. I know I certainly did, but this could be your biggest financial mistake and the number one reason that you don't achieve your financial goals. In Luke 14:28 through 30, Jesus says, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Will you not first sit down and count the cost to see whether or not you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying, 'This person began to build and was not able to finish.'" This passage illustrates that when you make a major financial decision, you should first count the costs. As soon as my wife and I got married, we began looking for a home. So one day she was out house searching and she decided to go to some nice homes that was outside of our price range. So she saw the homes and she fell in love with one of the homes and she liked it so much that she came back home and she asked me, "Is there any way that we could afford this home?" When moving into a home, your housing expenses, which usually includes things such as your mortgage or your rent, your insurance, your water, your electricity, your trash payment, it usually falls somewhere between 25 and 35% of your net income, which is your take-home pay. When you go above that 35% mark, then you start hitting red flags. The home that my wife wanted would have made our housing expenses 40% of our take-home pay. That means it is 5% above the maximum that is recommended to spend on a home. So I had a conversation with her and I said, I'm not gonna say that we can't afford the home. I'm gonna say if we do buy the home, we're gonna have to make serious sacrifices in the area of not getting a new car, not taking these extravagant vacations, and not going out to these expensive dinners. And she said that she would make the sacrifices because that was her dream home. So if you spend more than 35% of your net income on your housing expenses, then you have to be willing to sacrifice. That means you may not be able to go on the vacations that you want. You may not be able to go out to eat as frequently as you want or get the new car that you want, but you will be in the home that you want. So you have to determine whether this home is your dream and your vision or whether or not you have other goals that you want to accomplish. So if you spend more than 35% of your net income on your housing expenses, then you know that you're gonna have to make sacrifices in other areas. If you're a homebody and this is your dream home and all you've been thinking of and all you've wanted and this is your goal, then go right ahead, that's for you. But if you want to travel the world, go on elaborate vacations, eat at fancy dinners, and you want a new car, then you may want to double think about how much you're going to spend on your housing expenses. I live in California, so I understand that housing prices are expensive. And some people can say, well, it's almost impossible to stay under 35%. But what I would say to you is maybe you may need to get a roommate or look for a different environment. But I would say that these percentages are important because it is not worth the stress to not know how you're gonna pay your bills, or if you don't have any money for savings, or if you don't have any money to really achieve your goals. And so that's why it's so important that you know these percentages. It's better to have a roommate and have peace of mind about your finances than it is for you to live on your own and be stressed out and worried about how you're gonna pay for your mortgage or how you're gonna pay for any unexpected expense that comes up. So if the home isn't your dream home, then remember that it's always better for you to pay less now so that you can actually achieve your goals in the future and get the home that you actually want. So if you like this video, then you'll definitely want to watch my next video, which will go into details about budgeting for your transportation and learning about how much you should spend for a car and transportation to set you up for success.